All right, so there's a lot going on right now with AI, and people are talking about Claude Code taking over software. And I just want to share some of my thoughts around this and what I think is going on. So, I've been doing software and coding for about 10 years now, and I know how hard it is. I know how difficult it is to write good code as a person. Way before vibe coding was a thing, way before coding agents, I was writing Python scripts by hand, running into all of the errors, all of the debugging, having to go to Stack Overflow. This was a difficult thing for a very long time. And Python is one of the easier languages. So it's a difficult craft, but coding agents have come in and they have completely changed the game. We're talking about agents that can do what would have taken a team of 4 or 5 engineers, what would have taken them weeks, is now being done in hours by a coding agent. And so if you think about the time and the cost of an engineering team versus 5 minutes or 10 minutes of a coding agent and the tokens for that, we're talking about 100-fold decrease in cost for producing software. So the price of creating good software is plummeting to zero, basically. What it takes to create great software has been massively reduced. And so you don't need as many people, you don't need as much time, it's much less expensive. I mean, I worked for a startup where they were spending $10,000 to $15,000 a month for a team of, a software engineer, some assistants, some programmers, planning, coordination among different people. This was $10,000 to $15,000 every month, plus the cost of cloud and everything on top of that. And now we have $100 budget for Cursor or for Claude Code can essentially do the work of that entire team and actually does it faster and in a lot of cases even better quality. And so it's really just a complete rewriting of the rules. It's a complete rug pull of the software engineering space. And so this is just a huge deal. I mean, we see software as being repriced very drastically. And if you look at companies like Microsoft and Salesforce and Adobe and these traditional software behemoth companies, they have been falling off a cliff. I mean, their stock prices have been imploding over the last 6 months. And it's all basically because of this new wave of AI coding agents and how much they have drastically changed the game. And so this is something I was saying months ago. Software is being rewritten and it's being built by agents. And yes, it takes, a software engineer and somebody who understands code to build these things and steer these agents. But someone like me who's been coding for a long time, I can spin up 5 different agents at once and have them all working on different tasks. And I can pay $5 or $10 to have them do huge amounts of knowledge work and deliver me code, documentation, everything I need. And they're able to audit my code base, find all the problems, point them out. I mean, this is expensive knowledge work that would have taken weeks or countless hours at least to create these outcomes. And so I'm very bullish on coding agents. I think they're the future. They have been the future. I mean, in 2024, early time, I was really heavy into using ChatGPT to generate scripts, and it was enabling me to create websites, and I'd never really been able to do it that well. And so that was amazing. And then Cursor comes along. It's like, oh, well, it can actually edit your files directly. And I was like, that's amazing. And then all of a sudden you have Agent, and now Agent can read through the different files and then search for things and then edit this file and then edit that file and then reread and work in a loop. And that was an amazing breakthrough. But then with things like Claude Code, we have agents that now have the ability to work for minutes, hours, even sometimes days at a time, working in a loop, iterating on a problem, writing to files, creating files, editing, running scripts, running bash commands in the terminal. I mean, it's basically like an agent that can use a computer and can see its own work and can try things and then experiment and then use the computer to accomplish the goal. And so if you give it a really complex task, it can work for as long as it needs to until it can create that outcome. And so I just think this is a complete game changer when it comes to software and how it's produced. And the old legacy model of big engineering teams, millions of dollars of spend, many hours to create, these big enterprise contracts that are very expensive. People are rethinking that now, and things like Claude Code have really brought that into the forefront. And the markets are repricing, looking at companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and looking and saying, are they really worth what they have been in the past? And there's a lot of fear that maybe a software giant like Oracle or Intuit, maybe they just aren't what they used to be. And maybe some 18-year-old who's a computer whiz is going to vibe code a new app that does the exact same thing for 1/100th of the cost. And so these are all the questions that people are asking, and the markets are trying to sort out what is the real cost of software. Is the price of these stocks and the valuations still make sense given this new technology? And I think these are all open questions that we're learning about. And so these are things that I'm exploring more in depth. I'm working with the tools hands-on to really understand what they can do on the bleeding edge and pushing them to their extremes to see, where is this all heading and what are we going to do to keep up as things change so quickly.